So this is future Chi coming in here before we start the video to basically say that Garvel starts off with 100 AP, which is roughly 75% of his total AP, I believe. I do get into that later on when I look at his skills and I talk about it, because it's funny with these like pseudo mage characters, you don't know whether they're a mage or not, because like Spellblade doesn't start off with any extra AP, but Red Mage does. So this I would normally class. I wonder if it's like, is it more like Red Mage or is it like Mage? This is Classic Mage. This job is considered Classic Mage. You start off with 100 AP, which is around 75% of your AP, which means that really pushes them over the top, because first turn you can jamming thrust somebody, you can use your ultimate, which costs like 60 AP, you can do your twin key rupture, which costs like 40 something AP. You can do all your big moves first turn. The other thing about him is he has this hyper vitality passive, which effectively counters, I would even say hard counters, that Keen Blade Rush build I did a couple of videos ago. The one where Glaciella has 120 speed, and then you do Keen Blade first turn into Super Stern War of Ruin or Bells, and then you Ildira ultimate, and then you Hazard Crasher them all to death. Yeah, this character will hard counter that with the hyper vitality ability. Because he has the same amount of speed as Glaciella. They're both at 83. They're both at 58. But Glaciella can only get plus 24%, and he can get plus 30. So that means he will get a turn on that Keen Blade Rush build. And generally, Keen Blade Rush, you do not want your opponent to have a turn on you, because you're not very defensive either. You're stacking speed, so you're not offensive and you're not defensive. So here, if Garvel goes first, he can do any of these attacks. Like he can AOE 100% hit with the detonation blast. He can twin key rupture. He can use his ultimate through that wall and hit. He can try to use his ultimate through the wall. It may or may not go through the pillar. The pillar mechanics are weird. He can try to jamming thrust Super Stern to death, because Super Stern's weak to magic. Basically, this will hard counter Keen Blade Rush, and in the event that you can't kill him, you can always try this rejuvenation ability. The way status effect works is 25% chance to sleep in full faith on both units, translates to roughly 49% chance to sleep, 47% chance to sleep. But you get this extra 24%, which will come out to around like 90-something% chance of sleeping somebody. But you do need to know that Glaciella is 50% resistant to sleep, which effectively means she's immune, I believe. But you can always sleep Super Stern or Ildira, effectively breaking the combo. So there's that option as well. But yeah, there you go. He will counter Keen Blade Blitz in several different ways. So Keen Blade Blitz is not going to be that instant win anymore. Also, he can't really equip glinting armor, so you know that he won't be the new holder of Keen Blade Blitz. So that means the top speed of Keen Blade Blitz stays with OG Stern and Glaciella, while the top speed of anti Keen Blade Blitz will outspeed them. So now you will always get a turn first, provided that you have all your affinities and everything in a row. Your max speed should be somewhere around 125 to 130. Yeah, on with the show. Okay, welcome back to another episode of War of Divisions. This is going to be a quick review of Garvel. I'm going to preface this with I'm not pulling for Garvel or Elsa'rel. That's mostly because the anniversary is right around the corner, and that they're not limited. Those of you that seen my stash video of like how much I have stashed up for EX jobs, you would know that I have something like 30 something tickets for UR summons, and like 150 of those rare summon tickets. Some of those tickets are time limited. Like they won't allow me to pull something that's like after November 11th or something. But some of them, the ones that I bought with my Mog medals, they will update with the roster. So by then it would have been 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks after they've been featured. So I should be able to. They should be in that rare summon pool by then, and I'll just pull them naturally. The only advantage to pulling them right now is the bonus, the bingo board bonus, 120 shards, which is roughly 6k Visor. Realistically, it will only be worth it if you pull them within 3. If you pull them within 3 pulls. So yeah, I'm not gonna go for that. I also in Meta Monday, I also did a calculation of what it will cost to get these guys to 89. Generally, one unit getting to 99 is 30,000 Visor. To 89 is going to be 20,000 Visor. I believe 89 should be usable for Elsa'rel anyways. Not so much for Garvel, and I'll talk about why. So to get a unit up to 89, you need 20,000 Visor. And then from there, you save 6,000 because of the bingo board. So you're at like 14,000. If you buy a shard, if you buy a buck a day, you can get 80 free shards from the $1 a day daily, and then you get another 25 from the monthly login. So realistically, it'll cost you around 9,900-ish to max, or to get them to 89, which I think is, before EX job, 89 is viable. And realistically, from there you would get 2 weeks, or however long it is, to max them up to 99 anyway. Like I said, it's Elsa'rel 89 usable. Garvel really needs the 99 because he needs this TMR. Or else he's going to get hard countered by Whisper, basically. Because Whisper has the capability of, I think, 98 missile resist or full missile resist, one or the other, and full magic resist, both at the same time. And that will completely shut him down. His other counter is probably Rain, because even though he has Kotodama Wielder, I don't think he'll be using the that sub job. Anyways, great great master ability. It's the Dark Anthem on top of a 20% magic damage, on top of a 20% magic. Interestingly, the board only gives him 20% luck. I would have rather had 20% magic to go for 40% magic. Let's see. Stat-wise, there's his resistances. The actual damage resistance isn't anything great, but the status element resistance is awesome. Resistant to Charm, Stop, and Disarm, or Disable is great. The thing with this character, I just feel like he came a little late. I feel like if he came a little bit earlier, he'll be very top end in that last class match. Because there was Stop, there was Charm, there was Evade everywhere. But anyways, first thing to talk about for him is his Hyper Vitality passive. This is a game changer right there. Effectively, he has 89 agility, he has 58 agility, which is the same as Glaciella. And Glaciella completely stacked up on agility. Both of her passives can only get plus 24%, which means he can be faster than Glaciella, which will throw a wrench in those Keenblade Rush builds. Well, for now anyways. So he is viable as a pseudo counter to Keenblade Rush. The extra 6% base, I believe, will also make him faster than OG Stern, because OG Stern's only two agility faster than Glaciella. So, assuming you top him up with speed, and the thing with topping him up with speed is you only need to waste one passive as opposed to Glaciella's 2, and his one passive is insane. So yeah, definitely a decent counter to the Keenblade Rush build. And what you can do is, depending on this sleep move, depending on whether it's their turn or your turn, because it's minus 4% for each turn done by the unit. Are they talking about Garvel or the target unit? Either way, there aren't a lot of resist to sleep, so you might be able to, like, first turn hit them all with sleep. That'd be kind of funny. Anyways, magic up, key flow, same thing. initial AP up. I don't think you would use that, but it is questionable because right now we don't know whether or not he's considered one of those. He's considered that red mage type or the pure mage type or the non-mage type. So there's three. You start off with 75, 50, or 25% of your max mana, depending on what type of unit you are. So that comes into question. That comes into play hugely. Because if you start off with 75% of your mana, you can do some real crazy stuff with him. Like between like Spirit Blessing and Mage Armor, I would normally go with like Spirit Blessing because armor and Spirit and Magic resist is roughly the same. So might as well get rid of my light weakness while I'm at it. Reaction skills, hyper reactivity. That's basically physical. That's physical reflex without being OP. And then you got magic reflex, and I would probably go with Steel Ephemeral Form as like your go-to, or as like your neutral one. I mean, you can always pick one or the other, whether you want to reflex physical or magic, but I'd rather just take 30% less damage. Key Shot is the special ability here. It's missile magic. It's a missile attack that's magic. Realistically, that's probably what they should do with Rosa's magic arrows, but that's not the case. It's an okay attack. I mean, I guess you can use him along with those triple gunner builds to kind of get a guy that's pseudo tanky because of the key barrier. This is basically Sacred Wall. And because he's so fast with the passive, he'll run up front. So I guess you can run him as in one of those like in a triple missile build, but it would be kind of rough because he won't get aim fire right away. Twin Key Rupture. This one hits really hard, but for 48 mana is questionable how good it is, depending on how much mana you start off with. If you're the 75 pure mage type and you start off with most of your mana, yeah, this is a no-brainer. You're gonna keep this on and just truck people with it. Detonation Blast this is actually, I think, a medium hitting guarantee hit attack, and it's AoE and it's instant cast. So I think this is actually really good. Pulse is an interesting one. Increased debuff resistance for 3 turns, but like Mysidia said, it has a height of 2. This guy only has a jump of 1, so this will help him get places, basically. It's like a better version of Hayate, or Poison Mist. Chi Shot Flurry. It's another missile attack where it's double hit. Realistically, Chi Shot and Chi Shot Flurry is what you would use when your opponents are heavily resistant to magic. So that's kind of what you would use against like Freya. Not so much Rain and Whisper, because Rain and Whisper is going to be resistant to both, especially Whisper. Rain has, I think, an innate 15% resistance to missile, so realistically, Rain can get to like 75, 80 missile resist. I don't really think you're going to run him as Kotodama Wielder, because your main job comes with a whole bunch of instant casts already, and Red Mage comes with Jamming Thrust, which is a large, far-range attack, and you get 6 casts with this, so this is insane. I would run Kotodama Wielder in like live PvP, because the move plus 3, the jump 1, move 1 is great. I don't really need Unavoidable Pain here, because I have an instant class hit that hits harder, and is AoE. I mean, you might get forced into it if you're AP starred, but like I said, that goes around to how much AP he starts with. Never gonna use Defusing Perplexity. Earthrending Pain, maybe? Spirit Breaking Pain, probably not. Heart-like Needles is very important for him. If you want to fight Rain, you'll probably need Heart-like Needles for the Spirit penetration, because Rain doesn't really run magic resist. I mean, he does, but he mostly runs full Spirit. So I guess he'll work well with someone like Sakura, but honestly, you can kind of just throw his TMR on Sakura and then have Sakura use that, and Sakura will wreck whoever you run into, really. Jamming Thrust. is probably the main thing to talk about here. Darkra is kind of whatever. Cura, it's nice to have a little bit of heal. You have a better sleep ability in your sub job from your main job. Isuna is probably good. So, but really, you're gonna run Reg Mage just for the jamming thrust. The ultimate, 58 AP cost. Decrease spirit by 30 for 3 turns, and spirit penetration up to 50%. I guess this would be your rain killer, but like I said, this depends on how much AP you have at the start. If you start off with full AP, you can just kind of run in and use this. But like I said, gets hard countered by Whisper because of the magic and spell resist. But he does. The good thing about him is he has a way around both, right? His TMR will get him around Whisper's magic resist, and his ultimate will get him around Rain's spirit. So all this comes down to is how much AP you start off with, and whether or not Whisper can actually block you with the magic guard if you hit him. But like I said, this is one of those funny characters where like 89 isn't good enough, and you have to have him at 99. And that's it for my overview of this character. The couple of main things to note about him is the AoE guarantee hit. This really cool passive, Hyper Vitality. This will throw a wrench into Keenblade Rush, or this will make him the new Keenblade Rush. One or the other. What else? The TMR is really good, and that's really it. The thing with Garvel is he's still very usable in JP, but there really isn't a rush to get him, so to speak. Because if I rush to get him, that would reduce your resources for EX pulls. And he's not limited, so he'll eventually come around. So realistically, all you're missing is the bingo board. Like, I would still recommend doing $1 a day for his shards, as well as Elsa'rel's shards when that happens. But I don't really recommend pulling him at the moment. Same thing with Elsa'rel. I feel like she missed the bus on the last CM, because the 30 accuracy would be really good in against those evade teams. On top of her having accuracy, this girl is all about accuracy. So like, she has 10 accuracy. She has an ability that gives 30 accuracy to the team. Pierce and missile resist. She would have been really good in the last CM. In terms of her resistances, a little bit of stop resist. Poison resist is kind of whatever. Immobile is kind of okay, but I believe she gets 15 pierce resist, so plus her passive is 20, and then 15, and then plus the passive I think is 15 missile resist as well. Weak to dark, she can get around that with the prominence of darkness, but realistically you'll probably be running Nightblade Mastery and Tune-Up. So this girl is walking around with 30 accuracy, 35 accuracy. If you give her something like a Guion to hold because she's slash damage, now you got 50 accuracy. With the TMR, you're looking at 80 accuracy. So she's pretty anti-evade. In terms of counters, I would probably either go with Magic Guard or Predictive Fire. Counter Swing is kind of like Counter Slash. Not that great. Predictive Fire, even though you're using slash damage, so that means your Predictive Fire isn't going to hit very hard. However, one of the things to know about this character is she's kind of more of a frontline character. So she's not really your traditional gunner. Traditional gunners, if they get hit, sometimes they'll Predictive Fire your own guy. This character is more of a in-your-face type character. So if she does do Predictive Fire, it's very likely to kill the opponent instead of yourself. But you can kind of ignore the reduced evade rate there, because I don't think she's particularly good at evade anyway. Her abilities are pretty cool. Stun Blade is a cheap cheap mid-range ability that has a 25% chance to stun. That's really nasty because with Faith, you're looking at like 49% chance to stun, and you can kind of chain stun people like this. So yeah, double resist, missile, and pierce resist plus 25. This is awesome. Maining slash, reduce healing by 40. I believe after you reduce their healing by 40, that crap persists through death. So if you get full life, you'll only get reduced with 60% HP instead of full life. Concentration, Dwayne already had this move. So another gimmick character goes up to like 60 armor pen, I believe. Probably some other way to stack more armor pen on her. Drain Rush, 30. This only heals 30% of your HP. Normally, I believe it heals. Normally, I believe Drain moves heal 50%. But I feel like this is probably the move you're not really gonna use that often. Drain AP. Yeah, I don't see you using that either. Neither do I see you using Spinning Slash. So you're really not gonna use the Nightblade sub. So it's really just a matter of, do you want Spellblade sub or do you want Dual Gunner sub? And to be honest, I don't think she's particularly strong as a magic tank because she doesn't have any innate magic resist. Well, outside of this passive, but yeah. Every other Spellblade has innate magic resist. And her magic damage isn't particularly strong either. So none of these are really going to do too much damage. Might be good to have Magic Barrier and Taunting Spell if you want her to tank, but I don't really want her. I wouldn't really want her to tank, to be honest. Not even as a magic tank. I think most of her damage is going to come from this Dual Gunner build on top of Dual Gunner with Nightblade sub. Yeah, call from somebody. Okay, whatever. So she gets horizontal shot. I think that's huge. She doesn't get quad shots though, so she's not as good in PvE. But she gets all the cool AoE ones: split shot, horizontal shot, the big damage from the dual trigger. Yeah, I think she's decent. Her limit burst is pretty interesting. Minus AP consumption 40%. The problem with her versus Garvel is Garvel, you don't know whether or not he starts with most of his mana or not, or most of his AP or not. Elsa'rel, you know she doesn't, because she's just a regular swordsman. So Elsa'rel, this ultimate I think is pretty redundant. Contrary to what someone like Mysidia would have believed. Like, he believes this, well, the ultimate is interesting, but the way the ultimate works is you need to dump 43 AP to begin to use it. 43 AP is a hefty amount of AP. Realistically, I think anything past 40 is kind of questionable whether or not is usable. But anyways, so there's really two scenarios here where you would use the ultimate, right? One is you don't have bells, and it took you a while to get the 43 AP. Right? Generally, people start off with around 25 AP, and in order to get 45 AP, you would need a 40 TP skill. Double resist is pretty close, but I don't think it'll take you 2 turns before you can use your ultimate. So realistically, by the time you do use your ultimate, it lasts 3 turns, and then you have to charge up AP again. So that kind of makes it not that great. The alternative is you give her bells, she uses her ultimate first turn, and then second turn she uses whatever. But basically, she already has bells, so the minus 40 consumption isn't gonna do that much. I mean, it will help her conserve some of her AP, maybe for like Guild Wars, but like for regular arena, this isn't gonna do much. Because if you already have bells, you can already use everything anyway. So what's 40 less? What's 40% reduced AP gonna do for you? I mean, it'll do something for you if you have like if the battle drags out, it'll help you. But realistically, it's not that big of a advantage. So those are your 2 scenarios. So maybe it'll be better to equip Oldoa's apron on her, even though it gives less AP after she uses her ultimate. along with the other thing about after she uses her ultimate, maybe the AP generated from Oldoa's apron will actually do something, or would actually be sufficient. But like I said, Elsa'rel, nothing crazy. I mean, if you really hate evade, maybe you'll pull her, and she'll be good. But I think I can wait. I also think like pretty much everybody can wait for her. The only good, the other thing is she has the light anthem buff, which I think most light units that come out now has that as well. Her TMR is kind of okay. It's not like insane. 10 spirit is kind of okay, whatever. But a lot of armor has much more than 10. So that will kind of result in either you have crappy spirit or you have a crappy spirit to stack on top of something else. But yeah, her accuracy, like just her alone, if you look at her, just her alone, you got 30 from there, you got 12 from there, and then you got another 10 here. So that's already 52 on top of the skill, on top of the passive. So you got 77. You got 77 accuracy just on her alone, like no other equipment, nothing. And then if you equip a guy on, now all of a sudden you have 83 accuracy. If you equip something like Blade of Weed, you're looking at 97 accuracy, just based. Well, okay, there is an active buff. You have to use this active buff, but you're looking at like 97 accuracy for 3 turns. And then after 3 turns, you still have 67 accuracy, which is crazy. But yeah, both of them only have 1 jump, so not that great in terms of mobility. Overall, great units though. Elsa'rel a little bit more niche than Garvel is. But yeah, even if they are great units, like they're just coming out at a bad time. They're going to be the last units to get EX jobs. So we will eventually get them. My plan is to just get them naturally. But if you do choose to build them, you know that it's going to only take you around 9,000 Visor to get them to 89, which is actually pretty good. Generally speaking, I would recommend getting them to 89 and then just kind of wait for the shards, but not so much for Garvel. Garvel definitely needs that TMR to be viable. Well, okay, he's going to be strong by default anyway, but if he has the TMR, he'll be kind of much harder to counter. If he doesn't have the TMR, Whisper will wall him real hard. And that's really the idea. The other thing is Rain can kind of wall Garvel as well because of the Knight of Grand Shell Astral Guard ability with the 50 reduced magic damage on top of his innate missile resist. So those are 2 people you really want to watch out for. Elsa'rel, I don't really think you need to kind of like focus counter her, not as much as Garvel does. All right, thank you guys all for watching this. Well, I guess for my standards, it's short review of the 2 characters, because usually it takes about 45 minutes or 40 minutes for me to talk about the 2 characters. But thank you guys all for watching. The Ultimate Chi signing out.